Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and a lot of you saw this week where there was a video done by a guy named James Wright, who did a really interesting review on Patty's Pies. He did a review that you'll never see me do. There's a little too much too drama for me, but at the same time, the brother did the thing, and he's obviously a great singer. He got the attention of the whole world. Black men dancing for sweet potato pie. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but at the same time, we know that the advertising was effective. It got a lot of black people into Walmart, where a lot of money was made. Millions of dollars worth of Patty's pies were sold because of this review. I don't care what Patti LaBelle and Walmart say. If they're trying to say, well, no, Patty's pies were selling good before he came along, that's sorry, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Don't tell nobody I cuss, but that's probably bullshit. But anyway, with all due respect to Patty and to Walmart, I think that you know that James is the driving force behind the massive pie sales. Let's break this down. A lot of people, I saw an article by Clinton Peterson Jr., who made a very good point. He was saying that he feels that James has kind of gotten exploited because everybody got paid but him. Patty gave him the designer bag, which is worth over $3,000. And in a way, it does kind of come off as sort of the typical way that, black. Celebrities or athletes are treated sort of like, here, we'll give you a couple of little trinkets while we collect the real money. That's what happens to a lot of college athletes. They give them, maybe a couple cars, some girls, a little cash, but they're collecting, $20.5 million from what you did on the court that season. So there's a difference between getting sort of the tiny distractions that make you feel good versus actually getting access to the real wealth, the real capital. So that's very important to understand the difference between the two. Now, according to Clinton, he feels that James just got sort of straight jacked. He got ripped off because Walmart and Patty made all this money and he didn't. And that's a perspective. I mean, that's something to be considered. Absolutely, I'm not saying that he's wrong, but here's another way to kind of look at it. James was going to do his video anyway. James had no contractual relationship with Patti LaBelle or Walmart, and so do they really owe him anything? Some people might say no, at least not legally, because if I go on a news TV show or a news show and I talk about my product, or somebody else talks about my product in a show, and the product sales go way up. Even if, let's say, even if it's Oprah reviews my book and I get a lot of book sales. Well, how much money do I really owe Oprah? That would be kind of the fundamental question here. Again, I'm not saying the answer is yes or no. I'm going to say there's a difference between legality and morality. Here's how I see this breakdown. Just as a finance guy myself. Number one, I would be interested in seeing just how the contract breaks down between Patty and Walmart. A lot of people feel that by supporting Patty's Pies, they're supporting a black business. They're supporting a business that certainly involves a black person. But remember, a lot of celebrities sell their names and they're branded as business owners. I'm not saying Patty's one of these people, but you saw one perfect example was Jay-Z with the Brooklyn Nets. Jay-Z was branded deliberately as an owner of the Brooklyn Nets to keep black people in the area from protesting against the Russian businessmen that wanted to come in and buy up the arena, move out a lot of people, and gentrify the area. So what they said was, we got these people, Cornel West and others, who are protesting our arrival. We can't buy Cornel West. Cornel West can't be bought. There's no evidence of that I've ever seen. So they said, look, we can't buy him, but what we can buy Jay-Z. So they bought Jay-Z, gave him 1/15th of 1%. That means if the company was chopped into 1,500 pieces, he would have just one. So he was really just sort of an owner technically, but not realistically. He wasn't really an owner. And but here's what they did though. They took that tiny percent. They probably spent more money advertising his ownership stake than they actually spent on the ownership stake itself. That is a deliberate strategy. That strategy had actually worked. They put him on big billboards and said he's the owner. He was the face of everything. So people really started thinking he was the owner. So then suddenly it doesn't look like Cornel West and others are protesting the ownership of outsiders. It looks like he's protesting Jay-Z, which is a deliberate strategy. Is used all over the world. That's how European companies come and take over parts of Africa. That's how the root was taken. Is ultimately controlled by people who aren't black. You look at BET, controlled by people who aren't black. Look at Essence Magazine, controlled by people who aren't black. And then you go deeper with celebrities that put their names on things and are branded as owners when really they're not actually owners. Now, I don't know if this is true with Patty's Pies, but I would be really curious to see, did Patty get the bulk of that money, or did Walmart get the bulk of that money? Those are two different things. So you got to think about that. When you buy Patty's Pie, are you supporting Patti LaBelle, or are you supporting Walmart? That's an interesting dynamic there. But anyway, about James Wright's role in this. Look, James made the video because he wanted to. They didn't ask him to make it, from what I understand. James got well over 1 million views on this video, maybe 2 million. If he's got ad revenue on his YouTube channel, let's say he's making $3 for every 1,000 viewers, so 2,000 times 3 is about $6,000. So he probably got a few $1,000 off the video. He's gotten some brand building. People now know who he is. So if he's into being a comedian or being whatever, he's now got all these additional subscribers. He can monetize for the rest of his life. He's going to have opportunities to probably appear in movies and TV shows and things like that. People are going to approach him in the future to endorse their product. Believe me, they're studying this on how this happened. So they're going to have him do. You're probably going to see more polished video come from him in the future, because it won't be as spontaneous. It'll be more deliberately planned than it was in the past. And so he's going to get paid in advance for those videos. So some would say that while he certainly didn't get his fair due on the Patti LaBelle situation, he's at least getting the opportunity to put his name and his brand out there, which is something he can monetize and amortize over over the next 10, 20 years, or however long he's doing stuff on the internet. So I would argue that even though he didn't get his fair share, and let's be clear, I don't think he got what he deserved. That $3,000 bag ain't nothing compared to the 4 or 5 million that Walmart and Patty made off them pies. Okay, but even though he didn't get his fair share, sometimes you have to do something for free in order to build your brand, so you can make money from your brand. This is the kind of stuff we talk about in the Black Wealth Bootcamp. When I first started writing, as a public figure, I started writing for AOL Black Voices for free. Now, could you say I was exploited? You could argue that. I mean, I did probably make hundreds of thousands of dollars for them for the articles I wrote, because they were getting a lot of traffic. There was good stuff. I wrote hundreds of articles for nothing. But I was doing this in order to build my brand, to get my name out there, and separate myself from the pack. You see, a lot of people won't take a step. They won't do anything without getting that first paycheck. And if that's how you think, if you think like a person that wants an instant paycheck, instant gratification, then you're always going to lose. You want to think like an owner, like an investor, like a builder. Because if you build and you let that thing grow slowly, then that's yours for the rest of your life. So while I certainly you could say I was maybe getting exploited by working for Black Voices for free, I was also building the name of Dr. Boyce Watkins, which is something that I'm able to make a living from for the rest of my life, right? So who was using who? I don't know. I think we were using each other. I think it was a trade. I think it was a fair trade. So I don't think we could really attack Patti LaBelle for accepting this man's support. I think that she did more than she needed to do by calling him and thanking him and sending him the bag. But in the future, believe me, if they pick up their phone and call him again and say, "Hey James, we got the Aretha Franklin pie, and we need you to go and promote this for us," James will probably have a whole different conversation. You'll be talking to James's agent and his manager and negotiating a fair fee before that happens. So congratulations to all of them. Again, still got to say something about that whole black man dancing for pie. That's just too minstrel show for me. But at the same time, it is what it is. All right, everybody. That's it. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from the Black Wealth Bootcamp. Please take care. God bless. Have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.